My name is Drew Deffenbaugh. This is my wife, Brandy, and our children from oldest to youngest. Lily, this is Annabelle, Sadie, and then Kylie and Cade. We're from Van Buren.
Drew and I used the family room while Kylie and Cade were in NICU.
We found out about the Ronald McDonald House through the nurse that was taking care of us in time. The twins were how early?
They were born at 34 and a half weeks.
34 and a half weeks. So right from the get-go, they had they needed some extra attention. Kylie was ready to be born. Cade was breech, right?
Yes.
And so that started our experience at the neonatal intensive care unit.
Kylie and Cade were born 5.5 weeks early, and we heard about NICU. We heard about it in the past, but we really didn't know a whole lot about the blessing that it was to so many people. We found out that NICU was going to be a long journey for Kylie and Cade, and we heard about the Ronald McDonald House through the nurses taking care of me and the NICU nurses. With Kylie and Cade, Cade was born second, and he was breached, and so he was very bruised. Drew didn't get to hold him for 2 days, so we knew that journey was going to be long for him. Kylie had bleeding on her brain. She had lots of different episodes that were occurring, and so we didn't really know the experience was going to keep coming, whether we were going to receive some rough news or bad news. She also had another little incident that came up, and so that we automatically knew it would be another 7 days after that medicine that she would be there in NICU.
Like Brandy said, we had heard about the Ronald McDonald House charity, but we didn't really know what exactly that entailed. But we found out what a blessing it actually was.
It was nice just to be able to go around the clock, morning and night, to be at the Ronald McDonald House and then run downstairs for feedings and holdings around the clock.
I could not keep her away from there.
The Ronald McDonald House was very nice. We were averaging about 3.5 hours of sleep a night while we were there. We wanted to be with Kylie and Cade as much as we could, so that part was really nice. Community members, churches, doctors and their family would bring food and desserts, so that part was a huge blessing. Drew would have to make me eat because I was just focused on children at that time. And so it was nice to be able to do our laundry and just the community that comes with the Ronald McDonald House. The people that you're around, you have a bond that is like no other. You're around these people who are going through the same things that you're going through. So that's very comforting. You kind of get to minister to each other. The staff at Ronald McDonald, Drew and I were talking, like they knew our kids' names and would ask about how they were doing. They made sure that whatever we needed was available. Our own other big children were able to come and have dinner with us a couple of times in the main room available. And so they got to come and visit us for a little bit because they were with grandparents while we stayed in NICU and the Ronald McDonald House. Drew and I stayed in Ronald McDonald House for 2.5 weeks till Cade got to go home. And then we still utilized the Ronald McDonald House for another month, or how long?
Another 2 weeks.
Another 2 weeks until Kylie came home. So we were still using the Ronald McDonald House, just not staying there anymore once Cade got home.
It was very humbling to see all the support from the local community, different businesses and people and school groups, just donating supplies and food and time. We've made a lot of progress. The twins are doing great. Their doctor says it's hard to believe they were even preemies, the way they're progressing and doing well. They've overcome a lot of obstacles, and we thank the good Lord above for that. They're thriving, and the little girl, she's starting to put some words together like any good little girl. She says, Mama, Dada, hi, bye-bye. And the little boy, he grunts when he wants, and which I get. I can understand exactly what he's saying. But they're doing well. The other 3 kids are great helpers, and they're blessings to all of us, and just doing really well.
And the new Ronald McDonald House is going to be a blessing to so many more families. Having extra rooms is going to provide more people to be able to stay. I really didn't understand how many families were staying in NICU, the babies that are there, and there's so many families going around the clock to see their baby or babies. So having the Ronald McDonald House for them to be able to stay is going to be a huge blessing to the community.